So I'll do a little video on some of the samples that we've taken off clients. Well, we've attended client sites and taken. Now, they took advantage of our free sampling at the moment, so that's a bit of a plug. But it's not the point of this video. The point of this video is just to show you, because people like watching videos. I like watching videos on YouTube and bits. You can glean all kinds of information off videos. It's one of the modern ways of doing things. So these are the fuels that we used on a particulate test. Our standard forecourt diesel you put in your car. Red diesel, like we said, a lot of industrial sectors. For standby equipment, generators, fire pumps. And various other running equipment. So those are good samples. Now some of these are legit samples that I'm going to just throw in front of you, because you never see inside of a tank. It's not what you do. That's why obviously companies like ourselves who are around testing and reconditioning fuel. Now this is off a recent client, and this is actually, it was only a small tank, 2,000 litre tank. But we actually drew 400 litres of water out before we touched the base of the diesel itself. And as you can see here, the amount of water there, you've got hardly any diesel in there. You've got next at the top there, you've got the next layer, the emulsified layer. You can see these big blobs there of bacterial and mould. And then part of sediment on the bottom there. So it's just a little example. It's for people to see, really. No scare tactics or anything else. Just we all like to see. Now this is one of my favourites. Now this, to me, is perfect. This is what you don't want. You've got your heavy sediment on the bottom. You've got a lovely bit of free water. And then you've got your little layer there where you can see where you actually, what everyone goes on about, your bug, your microbiological growth, MBG. This is what you don't want in your tank, because the MBG is feeding off. It can only be there if you've got free water. Sediment, which is the base layer, that comes from your vents, your atmosphere. It comes from poor husbandry of your tank. Never having your tank cleaned or checked. So what's happened is this layer now is basically eating your fuel, the hydrocarbon content of your fuel. So the density and the power that this fuel can produce and its efficiency is greatly reduced, which means your engine is working a hell of a lot harder to get the amount of energy it requires to do its job. And eventually, because of that, your increased engine wear and its life is reduced. Like I say, I'm not here to go on. I sound like a mother. It's just so, I say it as it is, to be honest, and I think everyone should be as honest as that. Here again, an absolute dreadful condition to have. That is actually murky water on the bottom. You can just see it there, and then it's got the layer of microbiological growth, which I'll just try and tilt so you can see it better. And this is what we find all the time. Is it anyone's fault? Well, not that you could point your finger at, really, because it's such a grey area of responsibility. You have people who service your generators, people who service your fire pumps. You have massive holdings for transport. The only time you know you're going to have problems like this is when it's got to that critical stage and you pumped it in your vehicles, or your engine's decided to give up the ghost, it'll fail to run. This again, heavy sediment, extremely heavy. See that? Oh, it's not moving. You're just starting to move now. That's how thick that sediment is. One of my favourites. I do love it. it's like looking at the planet Mars with its crustaceans and, sorry, planet Mars. Yeah, I think I've been sniffing this stuff, but I think you know what I mean. It's just it's a world within a world, and there you have the depth of the bacteria. It's absolutely having it's Christmas dinners all in one go. And then here's the water. Without that, you don't get that. If you don't get that, that will be alright to use. The sediment, that's why you should have regular testing. You don't want that, because that allows yeasts and moulds and other fungals to grow. But without that water, you're not going to get that. That has the massive impact on that. That kills that. That then kills your equipment. A, B, C. There's another one. Now, these are legitimate samples. Free on-site samples. Which, as you can see right through there, you'd think that was alright. But as you can see, it isn't. Fuel has evolved, unfortunately, and without fuel, the world stands still. But fuel husbandry has to be paramount now to safeguard this, so that your equipment is safe. No one likes spending money, and why spend money on equipment that's had a catastrophic failure when you can just simply have a bit of fuel husbandry and ensure you don't have these problems on your site, in your tank. And if you have, get rid of them. You need to. Catch you on the next one.